Hello and welcome to the Federals live show on India versus England fourth test that ended in a draw in Manchester today. India managed a great escape at Old Trafford thanks to epic match-saving centuries from captain Shubman Gill, Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar. The hosts still lead by 2-1 in the five-match series. Joining us to discuss about the match from Old Trafford is sports analyst Siddhaarth Mahan. Thanks Siddharth for your time.
Thank you, Aprameya, and what a fantastic escape for India, and we all felt that this would be beyond India this time. It was 0 for 2 yesterday at
Right.
lunchtime, and in fact, it's a record. India's never lost 2 wickets in such a small amount of time. Just 5 deliveries, we had lost both of these top order batsmen. And at that time, I personally wasn't feeling very optimistic about a draw also. Now
Right.
we've got a chance to actually draw the series at Oval. Of course, England leads, but this draw is like a win for India.
Like for those who are not followers of cricket, playing for 5 days, and as you mentioned, sometimes draw is a win.
Yes, it is. And what happens is, if this had been a loss for India, already we've got a couple of bowlers who are not in their best of fitness. We've already had Nitish Kumar Reddy leave. He was playing well. He was bowling well. It would have demoralized the team. And this is a young team led by a young captain, a new team, a new management. So in a way, it would have been very difficult for them to come up from that. We've already had last 7 8 months has not been very good for this Indian team, and it would have been terrible. Once you get on that role of losing, it's same like winning. When you get on a roll with winning, you continue that momentum, and in those crunch situations, you have that confidence to go ahead and win. It's the same thing on the other side as well. When you continuously lose, you sometimes start doubting your abilities. And this Indian team is very skillful, is very good in terms of the kind of the skills that they have, the kind of game that they have. They've already shown it in this series. It's been an intense series. We talked about it at the end of the last match that in the
Right.
15 days that that they played in the first 3 tests, probably 13 and a half to 14 of them they've dominated. They've probably been the better team of those 3 tests. Yet the result was against them. It was 2-1 in England's favor. And now in this test, we were always behind. We were always playing catch up. And then to have this kind of a result, this kind of a determination to come back and draw the match is phenomenal. From a great effort from Washington Sundar, from Ravindra Jadeja, from Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, everyone. Uh, Great effort, and of course, it is like a win because it gives that chance for India to draw the series.
And Siddharth, Washington ground, how much did they? Could you explain the pitch conditions over there?
So it was like any fifth day track. It was slightly up and down. It was not unplayable as we saw. Of course, as soon as the sun came out, it became better for batting. We were all expecting a little bit of rain. Luckily, it stayed away. It had rained a little bit early in the morning, but it was not very hard. So we were expecting a little bit of rain during the match as well, during the playing hours. So, luckily, it all stayed away. And finally, after the lunch interval, the sun also shone through. It was like luck shining on India. We saw, straight away the first ball. Jadeja had a reprieve. He was dropped. First ball, it wasn't a very hard catch, although a lot of English commentators made it out to be. But it wasn't a very hard catch that Root dropped. And that was like, luck shining on India. Like it's completely contrasting from the last time, from the last match, how Siraj got out, even though he was, playing with the middle of the bat and he got out. It
Right.
was exactly completely flipped opposite this time. We had a lot of deliveries that the same way spun back, but it did not hit the stumps. It happened a couple of times with Ravindra Jadeja. It happened, I think, once with Washington Sundar that he defended. I think it was against Liam Dawson Root as well that he defended the ball and the ball spun back, but it did not hit the stumps. And that's the kind of luck we need in those situations. And pitch was much better in the afternoon. Although I would feel that some of the English bowlers did not hit the marks as well. If you landed outside the left-handers off stump, there was a little bit of rough, and whenever it hit that particular area, it spun. It did a little bit. It jumped from there, and I don't think so. English bowlers, English spinners hit that length a lot. That they should have during the partnership that Jadeja and Sundar had. If they had done that, it would have been slightly difficult. But well played, though. We can talk about how England bowlers have not been at their very best in this innings, but I would also say very, very well played by Ravindra Jadeja, by Washington Sundar, and of course, before them, KL Rahul and Shubman Gill as well. A lot of stump mic chatter was, I was listening to it. It was a lot of chatter, lot of sledging by the English players. And both of these guys had phenomenal mental strength. They did not succumb to that. They played comfortably, and of course, there was this whole, this controversy kind of a thing when at the end Stokes wanted to go for a draw
Yeah,
and
I
shake
wanted
hands.
to ask you about that.
Yes.
Jadeja was on 89 and Sundar on 80 at the time,
Oh, 80,
and before
80, exactly.
the mandatory final hour.
So actually, very interestingly, Gautam Gambhir was there at the press conference, and he spoke about it. Somebody asked, in fact, an English journalist asked, and very interestingly, all throughout this series, whenever the English journalists have asked such questions, such poking questions to the Indian players and sometimes to the coach, they've had very sharp reactions. They've drawn sharp reactions from the Indian players, from the coach as well. Today also, when Gautam Gambhir was asked specifically about that incident when Stokes wanted to go for a draw and it was like done and dusted at that time, and the Indian players, continued. And there was this small clipping of Shubman Gill there at the dressing room. Said to carry on to both of his players. And Gautam Gambhir said, why wouldn't they carry on? That's how he started his in the answer. Why wouldn't they carry on? Because, one guy is at 90, other is at 80. Why wouldn't they go for their hundreds? They've played the entire day and now they've got an opportunity to go for 100. If it had been, Gautam Gambhir said this, that if it had been English batters, wouldn't they have done the same?
Right, right.
And so probably, I think it was all fair. It was just the way it should have been. They played the entire day and just 10, 20 runs behind. They should have gone for that 100, and rightly so.
And Siddharth, I want to get your thoughts on Shubman Gill, the batter, versus Shubman Gill, the captain. Batter has been phenomenal. Over 700 runs. He's breaking records in his first series as captain. But how do you assess his captaincy? Does he warrant criticism? The way he's handled his bowlers or his resources so far in four tests?
So I'm standing right in front of the Indian dressing room. I'm not sure how much of criticism should I give Shubman Gill and his captaincy, but you're right. The batter is way ahead of Captain Shubman Gill. His batting has been fantastic throughout the series. That's one cog in the wheel that's been tick marked because before the series there were question marks. He had a mid 30 kind of an average. People questioned that he was a top order batter. Now the captain, and to do so well. Well done. So we got Raghu, going back to the bus team bus. So Shubman Gill's done very, very well, and this innings also it couldn't have been possible the kind of draw that India had if Shubman Gill and KL Rahul did not have the kind of partnership that they had. Even to actually see through the first hour after KL Rahul had got out today, to see through that first hour after that without any loss of further wickets, to make sure Washington Sundar faces less number of balls. In fact, if you remember, there was a spell of Liam Dawson where Washington Sundar was slightly uncomfortable facing him, and Shubman Gill denied a single so that he could be on the strike and play all the rest of the over of Liam Dawson. That was the kind of batter that and the kind of leadership that he was showing. He's coming out as a very good leader. That was pretty much evident during the Lord's Test when that incident, the time wasting kind of incident that happened on the fourth day. Uh, but I feel as a captain, there is a long way to go for him. There is lack of strategy evident, while he's there on the field. We had a terrible day, with in the field as a bowling unit. It was terrible. The record actually speaks for itself. It was the first time in the last 10 years that we conceded more than 500 outside Asia and West Indies. Um, and that's not just because our bowlers weren't bowling well. It was also because I personally feel the kind of introduction of the bowlers at the right time wasn't happening. You see that Washington Sundar had taken 4 wickets at Lords in the last innings, and he wasn't introduced in the
Right, right.
match till 68th over, and everybody was talking about it. Why wasn't he introduced? And straight away he picked up a couple of wickets. Uh, while all the talk before the match, even in the first couple of days, was about the overcast conditions that Manchester always has, and that the pitch assists a little bit of pace and seam movement. It is also to be understood that this is also a lot of English journalists have talked about that this is also one of the most turning tracks in all of England. You see that the kind of wickets this ground has. Ball Shane Warne's ball of the century also happened here in '93. Jim Laker's 19 wickets also happened there. Those can be exceptions, of course, but it also talks about that this pitch actually favors a little bit spinners as well. To not introduce, especially when Jadeja was bowling so well, he was getting that slight turn, and of course you can. We were just talking about the heavy breeze that always blows through Manchester. This particular Old Trafford ground, always has a lot
Even
of.
now, as you speak, it's too windy there, isn't it?
Exactly. I hope my voice is coming out right. It's
Yeah,
not being interrupted by the wind. But you saw that the kind of drift in Washington Sundar had. It was all to do with the kind of the wind assistance also that he got. And to not introduce him till so late in the match is beyond explanation. Whatever plans that he had, it wasn't very clear. The kind of field placements that he had at various points, I was trying to understand why are the fielders placed in the positions that they were. I was trying to understand how is he trying to get those wickets. So that is something that I would feel that he would probably try to get better at. Of course, as a leader, he's obviously showing signs as getting better and rallying the team around him. That's something that is within right now. But specifically, that is out there, maybe those are things that I probably he's lacking right now.
And one more selection issue which has been debated throughout the test was getting Anshul Kamboj. So he didn't have a good test match. He'll be low on confidence. And one more thing is Jasprit Bumrah's workload. He bowled 33 overs in this test, only one innings. But that will also be talked about, and he might not play the Oval Test, which is starting on July 31st, the final test, isn't it?
So one update that Gill shared with us at the press conference was about that all the fast bowlers are now fit. That's what he said. That we did not have our last week in this test, but he said, I'm not sure because I personally that's you can't hold me up for it, but I personally saw him during the match, going out on the ground. I felt he was slightly not at his best. He was slightly ginger. But Gautam Gambhir, according to him, he said, all the fast bowlers are fit for the Oval. Um, of course, Jasprit Bumrah's workload management is going to be considered, and I personally don't feel he would be at the Oval. Even during that third evening, he was clutching his ankles. He was slightly at discomfort. He bowled most overs. I think only Ravindra Jadeja bowled 37 overs. If I'm not wrong, I might have the stat wrong, but I think Ravindra Jadeja was the only one who bowled slightly more than him.
Yeah, you're right.
And
37.1 overs. Yeah,
right,
37.1
so
average.
and Morne Morkel was asked on that particular day itself when England, started their batting and was like going all guns blazing in that session. Morne Morkel said that um, they ideally it would be that they would want the third or the fourth bowler to support the main bowlers and take some of the ball away from Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj. But he couldn't clearly say so that Anshul Kamboj and Shardul Thakur weren't up to their very best. But that's something that was between the words, between those sentences. That's something that was pretty evident. That's what he wanted to say. It's not been the best of test for Anshul Kamboj. Not a great debut to have. I think he was thrown at the deep end without actually testing his depth. Um, Strangely, Prasidh Krishna, as I was mentioning at the end of last match,
Right,
he
right.
was practicing, and even today, I personally think that he's a short starter now in the 11 at Oval. He was also, during the lunch interval, he was there in the at the nets practicing his batting. So only thing that went into Anshul Kamboj's favor, that I think just before one day, even before the match, Shubman Gill had mentioned that the fight is between, for that one particular spot, is between Prasidh Krishna and Anshul Kamboj, and that was like very startling revelation at that time, because everyone felt that Prasidh Krishna would be a sure starter in this, specifically when Akashdeep is not well, and Arshdeep is injured. So, I mean, it was strange that Anshul Kamboj was selected. Only thing that I personally feel was that in the A series that happened a month ago, he had a good partnership with Tanush Kotian at that time, and he's probably seen as a better batter, somebody who can, bat a bit with the main batsman, and that's a strategy that the team has. I mean, if you see, we always have some of those players who can bat a bit and some bowl a little bit. Not have those specialists is a strategy, I feel, that we have adopted now. That certainly, in my understanding, went in favor of Anshul Kamboj being selected. I'm not sure that's the best beginning for him, and it might just probably be the end also, because it's scarred his career in a way, and that of his will always stay with his name whenever his name will come in contention, not just for selection. It's right now he's got a lot of criticism from India as well, and these days the team and the team management takes it seriously. So not such a great debut.
Siddharth, one final question. What to expect at the Oval? England can't. England still have a chance to win the series, and India can only draw the rubber. So, what to expect? It's been a great series so far. What can we expect?
Ideally, as Indians, and although I can't be biased, covering this entire series, but I would definitely hope for a, we at the end of the lost test, we thought, we'd be talking at Old Trafford with a 2-2 result, but
Good to
let's
right.
hope let's hope that that 2-2 result happens at the Oval. But it would be a stern test. We should not take away from the fact that England is still ahead in the series. They've got the chance to win, and India is still behind. They have to play at their very best to draw the series, because um, uh, they've got. I mean, whatever the coach says, that all the players are fit. It's, in my understanding, it's just stressing the fact that Jasprit Bumra is not 100%. Siraj also was not 100% in this match, and to have that kind of bowling lineup again face an attacking batting lineup of England is not going to be easy. Um, I'm not sure how the pitch would be, because we've all been surprised at every single venue.
Right,
It's
right.
not played the way they're supposed to, but ideally it should have a little more bounce than what we've seen in the series. But they've been preparing it, and also as I've talked about, it's been a slightly dry summer in England, so perhaps that's also playing in the way that the wickets are slightly more flat, and they get up and down on the fourth and the fifth days. They're not. Um, as favorable to the bowlers as they have been previously. So I think the team selection has to be right. That's one problem that India has had throughout. The determination, the fight has been there, but the team selection has been wrong. I personally feel, Anshul Kamboj would straight away be dropped for the next match.
Right.
And in his place, if Arshdeep is fit, he would probably be picked in that squad. And of course, Jasprit Bumrah will of course be rested. If he feels, he it's up to only Jasprit Bumrah. I think if he feels he wants to have a go, then they probably can break that understanding of three test matches. But it looks really difficult. We have to be very optimistic. It's a very small turnaround, 3 days now. So you can the team travels, and then has to be there 2 days of practice, and straight away the match starts. And it's not going to be easy for anybody to be fresh in that time. So it's going to be an interesting test, and hopefully, again, an intense match which goes to the final session and probably to the final 5-7 overs. And let's see if India wins, then that will be a great result for India.
Let's hope it would be a great result, Tendulkar trophy is shared this time. Okay, thanks for your.
So I can't hear you, but thank you so much, and I look forward to going 2-2 when we talk next. So
Yeah,
hopefully it'll be a great result for India. But this draw is like a win. We should actually celebrate the determination that India has shown. The fight back that India has shown is fantastic. So of course,